Krishna. Lord Krishna said that in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram Yagyas Tapasam, I'm the enjoyer of sacrifice and austerity. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, the Lord of all the worlds, not just the Lord of India. And Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, the well-wishing friend of every creature. And the word well-wishing is Suhrit, which literally means good heart. Literally means good heart. Hrit is the English heart, and Su means good. So Krishna is good-hearted toward everyone. He's the well-wishing friend of everyone. So Lord Krishna, in many places in the Gita, declares that he is the Lord. Sarvasya Chaham Hridisandivishna. I'm in the heart of every living being. Ishwarak Sarvabhutanam. I am the Lord of all creatures. And so is Lord Chaitanya, who's of course same person, Krishna, who in the same spirit as the Lord of all creatures, Krishna says in the Gita, Pitaham Asya Jagato, I am the father of this universe. Mata, and the mother. Data, the creator. Pitamaha, the father, the grandfather. Actually, in Sanskrit, you say father grand. Pitamaha. So this is a clear message of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, who's Krishna himself, then says that my intention is to spread my mission, my glories, all over the earth, all over the wide earth. And so it's very interesting to see that given Krishna's statements about the universality of his lordship, of his concern for all living beings, given how Lord Chaitanya then expressed this. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur translated all of this, enacted all of this in the modern world. And this is what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur inherited. And Bhaktisiddhanta was very much attuned to this. In fact, it's what he was thinking about constantly, this inheritance and his role in not only preserving, but extending, applying, expanding this glorious inheritance. And so our spiritual lineage is beyond compare. No one in the world can point to such a glorious, distinguished, learned, pure, powerful lineage as the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And so Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is a central key figure in this. And of course, he sent some of his disciples to England, to London. The results were a little, they tried and they achieved something, but ultimately a little underwhelming. He called them back. And then, of course, our Prabhupada, inspired by his guru, keenly aware of not only the example of his guru, but also his direct instruction. It's very famous that when Prabhupada first met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and saw that Abhay Charan De was a learned young person, was learned, fluent in English, college educated, which was a actually small minority of Indians at the time. The percentage of Indians under the Raj, the British colony, who actually had a college education, it was a very small number. And at that time, now if you think of Calcutta, you don't think of the most organized, well-kept city on earth, I have to say, although it's, it has its glories, but actually, for a long time, Calcutta was the capital of the Raj. It was the intellectual center of India. And it was in this intellectual center that Lord Chaitanya's movement revived and began to flourish. And so Prabhupada, he inherited this from ecstatic cries. He inherited this from Bhaktisiddhanta, and he preached in English. I mean, when after Prabhupada started ISKCON, he'd be in India and he'd be giving lectures where there were hundreds or thousands of Indians, many of whom didn't speak English. and there would be maybe, a dozen or two of his disciples, and Prabhupada would give his lectures in English. So Prabhupada definitely inherited, because Prabhupada also, as a liberated soul, inherited from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur the determination, the understanding of what Lord Chaitanya really wanted. But 99.9% of Prabhupada's response to his guru, Prabhupada's way of glorifying his guru, was not anecdotes. It was serving his guru, carrying out, expanding the mission of his guru, understanding perfectly and intimately what his guru wanted and doing it. That's the way that Prabhupada, for the most part, glorified, honored, and remembered his spiritual master. So it seems to me that the most important, and of course we should talk about Bhaktisiddhanta, we should remember his life, his example, but it seems to me that the most important way to glorify him, to honor him, is to rededicate ourselves to his mission, which of course Prabhupada, our Prabhupada, in a historically unique and so Prabhupada, in establishing ISKCON, in establishing very clear and solid administrative foundation, and in imbibing perfectly the spirit of Bhaktisiddhanta, that was the best service. That's how Prabhupada glorified his guru. That's how Prabhupada glorified his guru, by dedicating himself, heart and soul, giving his life to make his guru's mission a success. And so on this day, and every day, but especially today, I believe that's what we should do. That each of us should rededicate ourselves and really, to use Prabhupada's expression, tax our brains to see how we can do more. I wanted to mention, and this is really central to our lives, and that is that when Prabhupada first met his guru told him that he should preach, in the West or in English, and Prabhupada took that as everything. Even though he was a householder, he had children, and he couldn't immediately do what he later did, but he was always thinking about that. He was always thinking about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's instruction.